What's up, guys? Fatal Fisherman here, coming at you guys with a very special video. As you can see on the screen with me, I am playing iRacing for a very special reason, and I had to put this on YouTube so I could share my first impressions and review of North Wilkesboro Speedway. Let me say that again, North Wilkesboro Speedway, which is awesome. I can't tell you how excited I am for this. Oh man, I'm speechless about how excited I am, but I will give you a few reasons of why this is very special to me, and then I will get into the racetrack itself. But I wanted to highlight this track because of the reasons it's special to me. For those that might be interested in seeing the racetrack who don't have iRacing, I just think it would be really cool to do some first impressions, see what the track looks like, run a few laps for the first time, and do all that fun stuff. So let's get into it. Now, for the reasons that this track, North Wilkesboro Speedway, is very special to me is three reasons. So the first reason that North Wilkesboro Speedway is so special to me is it's the first racetrack that I attended in person for the first time. I was about 7 or 8. That was in 1996, where Terry Labonte in the Iceman paint scheme won, as well as Jeff Gordon in the very final race, which I'll talk about in a second a little bit more. So being there, seeing the sights and the sounds, I still remember them to this day. Being there for the very first time as a kid, again, 7 or 8, that was awesome. So being there for my very first race, that's special to me. The second reason North Wilkesboro Speedway is so special to me is because I was able to be there at the very last race ever held, NASCAR race ever held at North Wilkesboro Speedway in 1996. September 29th, I believe, is the exact date. And to be able to say I was there for the last race in North Wilkesboro is awesome. Not many people can ever say that anymore. So to be able to be one of the few is really, really cool. Now, the third reason that North Wilkesboro is really cool to me and special is it was the only race I ever saw Jeff Gordon win in person. And which is crazy because since I've been 7 or 8, I can't count how many races I've been to anymore. I've lost track, and I never ever saw Jeff Gordon win again other than the last time at North Wilkesboro in 1996. So to be able to, for those three reasons, being my first racetrack, last race ever raced there, and Jeff Gordon won the last race that day is pretty cool and pretty special to me. I also want to add, I have another special memory when it comes to North Wilkesboro Speedway. As I mentioned, it was my first racetrack I ever got to go to, and the other reasons I mentioned it's important. Well, it's been closed down since '96. There were a few late model races in I believe 2010, maybe 2011, but since then it's really not been touched. So unfortunately, it's kind of gone downhill a little bit, but it is still standing, which is how they were able to add it to iRacing. They were still able to scan it, which is the first time ever in iRacing history they've been able to add a track that is no longer running. But with that said, in 2018, I had the opportunity, and I was very unfortunate. I got to actually walk on the racetrack in 2018 and check it out as it stands that day. I might be able to throw some pictures up on the video, and if I did, you will be seeing them right now, so hopefully I was able to do that. But being able to do that as well was really special to me. One of my favorite racing memories of all time. Now, as far as North Wilkesboro Speedway being in iRacing, this racetrack was actually supposed to be added to the service on June 2nd, but due to popular demand after the Pro Invitational race this past Saturday, today is May 11th. They decided to release it today, almost 3 weeks earlier, which is awesome. I can't wait to get some track time on it. Again, this is my first impressions. I haven't driven on it at all, so you guys are going to be taking a ride for the first time with me. So it's really cool that we get to do this. This track is modeled after the year 1987, as it stood in 1987. And what's cool, too, that iRacing is doing, although we won't be able to look at it today, they are adding the 87 Monte Carlo and the 87 Thunderbird to the service June 2nd, as the racetrack was supposed to come out on. But we will highlight that potentially in the future. But today, as I said, I just want to get some first impressions. I want you guys to ride around with me, make a few laps, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, as you can see, I'm in the race car. I am super excited. I cannot wait. I have the graphics set up to high, so hopefully we'll see as much detail as possible as we're going around. I will make a few pace laps just to kind of see the sights and sounds, get a little feeling, and then we'll make a few laps full speed. Hopefully I don't wreck. Again, this is my first time around the track, so cut me some slack in the comments. But let's go take it for a spin. Let's throw it in second here just to roll out softly. And if you didn't notice in the screen previously, I am driving the Jeff Gordon 24 car that he drove in the Pro Invitational on Saturday that he ran in, which is pretty cool. Alright, and as I said, we're going to make some pace laps here. Just kind of check it out. As you can see on the inside of the racetrack, it's not a big white wall like it normally is. It's just a normal rail guardrail back in the day. Red and white walls back like they used to. And old logos, Mellow Yellow, Lowe's, Holly Farms, NASCAR Cup Series. Now normally that would say NASCAR Winston Cup Series, but due to sponsorship they couldn't do that. But it would still be that same color. Now there's a really cool feature about this racetrack, in the game anyway, is you see this sign right here, this Holly Farm sign. Let me back up a little bit, get a better view of it. There we go. You can see there's a flagman or officials on the stand, and as you're actually racing in the game, they will manually update the scoreboard as the race goes on, which is super cool. I can't wait to see that when I go ahead and go racing with some guys. So let's go ahead and drive a little farther. See more signage, Goodyear. Got the Cup Series. Now these two buildings have been around for a while, and fortunately the one farther left has been hit by lightning and burned a little bit. Alright, and cool. I love it. Stands without the metal seats in 1987. And if you don't know, if you can't tell, the front stretch actually goes down a hill. Sorry if you guys can hear my wheel in the mic. But anyways, like I was saying, as you're going downhill in the front stretch, you're actually going you're on the front stretch, you are going downhill. Back stretch, you're going uphill because this track was actually built on a hill. Now, I'm going to stop here just for a second. Unfortunately, because it's 1987, or the track is modeled after 1987, there's no stands here in turns 1 and 2, but when I went in 96, they had stands in turns 1 and 2. I don't know when they added them exactly, but the reason I say that is when I came to the racetrack in 96, we sat at the very top of turn 2. That way, because me and my brother, who I was with at the time, were only 7 and 8, we couldn't see over everybody, obviously, because we were much shorter. So we sat at the very top of turn 2 so that me and him could sit on top of the bleachers or stand on top of the bleachers and see the racetrack above everybody else, so we could at least get a decent view. Now we'll take one more pace lap here, and then we'll go for a spin. First Union, many years as far as I know, this track has always always sponsored by First Union, including the last races they ever held here. So, and when we close this out, I will go down pit road, and you may notice something, but I will get to that when we get down pit road. Now let's kind of act like we're coming to a restart and speed up a little bit, and then we'll run some laps. But this probably won't look pretty for me. This is my first time.
Your lap time was 1:36.64.
All this is a short track, man. It feels bigger than it is, and it runs really smooth. I really like this. Again, I'm kind of just doing this for the first time, and I'm probably not going as fast as I definitely could, especially since I'm concentrating on talking to you guys. But again, these are my first laps here, and man, I love it so far. I'm not the greatest at short tracks and iRacing, but this one I think I could do decent at, especially in a street stock or a nationwide car. I think that would be cool. Yeah, when you're in iRacing, or driving on the track, I should say, you can kind of see where the track goes up and down. Again, the back stretch, you're going uphill, and then on the front stretch, you're going downhill. Let's see if you guys can notice now that I say that. But yeah, we are actually going downhill at this time.
That lap was
and then back stretch, we're going back uphill. So yeah, I'm really loving this. I love the detail. I love the detail that they've added in the racetrack, and all the elements, 1987, how the track was, even the scoreboard. It was a really cool feature. The flag stand. So yeah, let's slow down here, go down the pit road, and then see if you guys can notice what's unique about the pit road here, at least in 1987. It did change later on. Alright, coming to the pits. Let's just slow down. This is my first time on the pits, so I don't know what the speed limit is either. 35, okay.
Pit speed limit. Pit lane
Now,
speed
as you
limit
may
is 35
notice, there
miles
is
per
no
hour.
pit
Box
wall.
in
That's
for
because
5,
in 1987,
4,
as my crew chief is talking to me.
3, 2, 1.
All right, thanks, crew
Box
chief.
now.
There was no pit wall at the time. Now, what's also not in this game is what was later added on. Again, I don't know the exact year, but I know in the final years they added another building in the infield where the car was actually lifted up onto a building where the victory lane was, which is a really unique feature about the Speedway. But I hope you guys enjoyed my first few laps around the racetrack. This was really, really cool, really special to me. I cannot wait to race this in iRacing. If you guys want to see me race this track in iRacing, be sure to follow me on Twitch. I'll be streaming there a lot, especially this racetrack. I'll leave a link to it in the description as always, so make sure you follow me on Twitch. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're as excited about this as I am, please drop a like. I cannot wait to get more laps here. This is so cool. Again, I want to also add that I know I said there was an update video coming. That is still coming, but with this being released today as of May 11th, I wanted to get this out there because this is so cool and I just didn't want to miss it. So again, I will be providing an update about the channel, the artwork, which you may have already noticed. So stay tuned for that. And again, if you enjoy, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.